All right. Hello, everyone. The most important thing to come out of the mine is the miner. An old mining quote from Frederic Laplace, still relevant to us today. Today, I'd like to speak about protecting our people. In particular, how collision avoidance technologies have the potential to not only do this, but also may change the way that we mine into the future. According to an ICMM safety report, 2024 saw equipment and equipment interactions sadly claim the lives of at least 9 individuals within the mining industry. And even this statistic underestimates the reality of the risks and the consequences associated with equipment interactions in the mining industry globally. So with all the technologies at our disposal, why are we still letting this happen today? When we look at how we are controlling this risk underground, we largely do it still through administration and PPE. Oh, hang on, I'm not going. Oh, there we go. Still do it through administrative controls and PPE. And looking at our people, we seem to be getting greener. And I'm not talking about that with regards to sustainability. It wasn't that long ago that I was at one of our major customers' training centres, and they were in the process of training up a few new recruits. There was a new truck operator there, and the trainer was telling me that the last job that they had before they were starting as a truck operator was actually pushing trolleys. And not that there's anything wrong with turning trolley pushers into truck operators. This particular individual, it was a pretty scary prospect for them, hopping into a 100-tonne bit of kit and operating in a series of tight, dark underground tunnels. The point that the trainer made to me was that was a lot of people that they were having to put underground that had never been exposed to those types of hazards before, and it was getting more and more risky. So what other layers can we put in place? Well, one technology that stands to address this is proximity detection and collision avoidance, otherwise known as PDS and CAS. These systems are designed to enhance safety in our mining operations. They can mitigate the risks of injuries and fatalities and collisions involving pedestrians and equipment. They utilise real-time tracking technology, with PDS aiming to improve awareness, give us visibility around corners and beyond the line of sight. And then CAS aims to intervene and stop the machine to avoid any potential interaction from taking place. Sandvik's PDS and CAS systems have been developed with scalability in mind. A lot of you may be aware of the Immersed Roundtable. They established guidelines focused on levels of safety control within mobile equipment. And at the top end of this, there's 3 levels. Our systems align with these 3 levels, with the first one being basic peer-to-peer proximity detection, which very simply alerts operators of nearby hazards. Then to advanced proximity detection, which is still peer-to-peer, however it increases the information available to all the operators. And then all the way through to collision avoidance, where the machine will stop when detecting nearby hazards. The scalability means that if you implement PDS today, you can upgrade over time to level 9. And you can also have a combination of all 3 technologies depending on the risk profile you have of each piece of equipment in the operation. Our PDS and CAS systems also have our mining data platform associated with it. So we have a server-based data platform which has the agnostic collection and centralisation of data for people, environment and equipment. Much of the hardware that we use for collision avoidance actually supports gaining some of this information. We have location tracking and reporting with people and assets, worker lifeline and evacuation notices for fallen or distressed workers. We have proximity detection reporting. And this combined with the location tracking can be an important one, particularly when we're starting with an entry-level proximity detection solution. It enables to actually track where the interactions happen in the mine and plan over time to avoid congestion as we evolve. We also have productivity and utilisation data and also asset health and analytics. So leveraging these in addition to the collision avoidance can be a benefit. So having a look at where we've seen this done globally, where have we seen it implemented at scale? In 2023, South Africa mandated the use of level 9 collision avoidance into mining law. In 2024, they saw a 24% reduction in overall fatalities to the previous year and a 67% reduction in fatalities related to equipment interactions. So if this is starting to make such a big impact in some places, why aren't we doing it everywhere? Well, like anything new, there can be some resistance to change. One fear is the potential increase in costs. Ultimately, these systems will cost us money. They cost us in CapEx, OpEx, human resource, change management. And another fear is that we'll have a loss in productivity. Any backwards impact on tonnes is hard to accept. So these technologies do have the potential to slow our equipment down if we do not implement them properly. And reflecting on South Africa's implementations and fast-paced change, they haven't been without these challenges. And it's without a doubt that both of these things have come into play. And we all have a reason to come home safe every day. The Blues Brothers here are two of my reasons to come home safe every day. But when we think about costs, what is the cost of losing that which is most important to us all? For a company, the loss of life carries many costs. For the immediate, there's the loss of the human resource, damage to equipment, infrastructure, downtime, clean-up, disruption in production, contract penalties. Long term, we have legal liabilities, compensation claims, insurance premiums, reputation and brand damage, share price impact, and recruitment. People might not want to work for the company, and even worse, as hard as it is already for us today, they see headlines like this and they just steer clear of the industry altogether. The reality is, loss of life on site can cost the company millions, but the cost to society, families and loved ones is immeasurable. And we've stood somewhere like this before. On the screen you'll see some devastating statistics about mining deaths in WA over the past 70 odd years. In summary, up until 2010, 657 people tragically lost their lives. That was an average of 10 deaths a year. From 2011 to 2017, the death toll was 13, reducing to an average of 1 to 2 deaths a year. There's a direct correlation there with regards to the ever-evolving focus on safety in the industry and where we've gotten to. And in particular, over the last 30 years, the industry's gone through a technology revolution. And that has had a massive impact on reducing the safety risks associated with mining. And it's important to realise that a lot of these technologies, at the time when they were implemented, they came with a cost, and they also potentially cost us productivity when they were implemented. But when we do implement technology for the sake of safety, it's not like it just sits still. In the late 90s and early 2000s, there was one major industry shift that took place, and that was the refusal to allow people to work under unsupported ground. And one technology that stood to address this was line-of-sight radio remote operation. And that saw widespread adoption in underground stoping operations. And when we think about the cost and productivity, the industry took a hit on both fronts, with that early technology not being able to outperform what I call bums in seats. But we did it for the good of our people, we did it for the good of the industry, and it was no longer acceptable to risk our people in a clearly unsafe practice. That shift, however, drove the technology development, and it drove us to the point today where the remote-controlled and autonomous cycles are arguably more effective and more efficient than people in the manual operation. Through increased utilisation and equipment effectiveness, the productivity benefits now outweigh the cost of the technology. When we went from manual to tele-remote, we gained back the shift change, which on average saw us gain about a 10% improvement. When we went to autonomous tramming and further autonomous cycles, that gave us another 34% improvement, a total increase of 47%, or 44%, sorry. And the automation has now moved way past loading. Today, we automate trucks, drills, and all types of other equipment underground. So thinking about this as an example where widespread industry change on safety led to a rapid technology evolution, What could it mean for the industry innovation if we collectively decided to implement collision avoidance technologies today? Taking that leap for the sake of protecting our people, even with the fear of the potentially increased cost and the management associated with it. Well, one opportunity we have, which could drastically change the way we mine underground, is looking at the dynamics of how we have our robots operating together with humans in a safe way. Today, we keep our robots in cages. So functionally safe systems for autonomous operations are largely designed around one principle: isolation. So how do we enable our robots and our humans to work together safely? We look to the future of our safety systems. Without complete isolation, how do we minimise the potential of an unsafe interaction for a future mixed manual and autonomous operation? We build some layers. So first of all, it starts with controlled entry. Systems designed only to allow entry and exit of the right personnel and equipment into autonomous areas. We then look to the automation. So those that had the panel earlier, and I think Jordan's still here and he asked the question, the answer to that is yes. For us, that is enabling mixed fleet, agnostic and interoperable autonomy. And we have done this already with McLean, sorry Jordan, and also with Epiroc. That then leads us to high precision tracking technologies, enabling us to manage the traffic movements and interactions dynamically within the environment. Then what we've been talking about. Oh, sorry, I missed one there. Where are we up to? That leads us, to tracking technology. So no, I've skipped one. And then that leads us to what we've been talking about, the collision avoidance layer. So the tracking and the traffic management protects the autonomous equipment from each other. But it doesn't stop pedestrians or manual operators from making a fatal mistake. And then the potential final gap, if everything else fails, and in rarity would be some level of onboard collision avoidance and obstacle detection. All these elements finally reducing us to what we would aim to have the same level of acceptable risk that exists within a functionally safe system today. And then finally, as an integration layer with mine and fleet management systems, we'll have a complete operational visibility and control. And what's truly exciting for Sandvik, combining AutoMine with our equipment and the portfolios of Nutrax, Deswick and UFR, we have all the building blocks to make this reality come true, with the key integration steps already taking place as we speak. So, what are some examples of where we could leverage a combination of these technologies into the near future? Well, as a first pass, we could simply look at manual or teleremote operations, manual or teleremote operation of vehicles within autonomous production areas, so enabling us to perform additional work whilst not interrupting the production. We could look at maintenance within highly autonomous areas, enabling us to service the equipment without a major slowdown or stop to the operation. And something that could be a game changer that I'm truly excited about is remote loaders to manual trucks or manual loaders to auto trucks. And as an example, we could safely enable the entry of a manual truck into an autonomous loading area for remote loading, which would potentially enable non-stop production and largely eliminating the need for loader operators to go underground at all in production areas. And finally, the ultimate dream, operating autonomous equipment without any area or isolation, the entry to the mine becoming our only barrier to entry. And these are just a handful of examples that some of our partner customers have come up with to date, and there's plenty more opportunities and innovations to come. And where do all these activities lead? They lead us towards the potential of a zero-entry mine. Like we've seen in the past, a widespread investment here could lead to an accelerated industry innovation. With our underground mines getting deeper and posing ever more challenging environments to operate, we all know where we have to lead. So if collision avoidance is going to protect the most important assets to us all, whilst being a key next step in unlocking the future, then why wouldn't we look to invest now? If you're interested in learning more about what we're up to across the Sandvik business, please come and see us at the Sandvik stand. Deswick are here as well, UFR here as well. Yeah, so thank you very much. I'm just going to share now a quick video overview of the collision avoidance system Sandvik has to offer. So thank you.
NewTrack's collision avoidance system was designed and developed specifically for the underground hard rock mining environment, where equipment and personnel are in close proximity to each other. Our goal and our vision is to make mining safer for personnel and for equipment, which ultimately leads to greater efficiency and reduced downtime. We have a dynamic zoning system which looks holistically at your surroundings through our proximity ranging sensors, as well as incorporates the telemetry aspects of the machine. When we combine these two layers of information, we're able to dynamically adjust and pivot from points in relation to the environment and that the equipment is operating in, which reduces the number of nuisance alarms and tripping. This enables us to get centimeter accuracy while seeing personnel from 100 meters plus and around corners. When Sandvik designed and developed the system, we not only took the IMARC standards into consideration, but also considered the CMS standards. What that means is that we look at the entirety of the system, so not only from a proximity detection perspective, but also from an equipment OEM point of view, and how the two subset systems work in tandem with each other. That enables a holistic overview of our system's operation. On our cabinet, we use a differential of 9 different radios, which allows for continuous communication across various platforms. That combined into a system enables us to dynamically adjust the zone sizes according to the situation that the equipment is operating in, as well as the personnel. We have a NewTrack's MDP, a mining data platform, and this incorporated with our system allows for a greater return on investment with a reduction in productivity downtime, as well as an improvement in productivity. One of the key differentiators of the mining data platform is their ability to consume the OM agnostic data, so you can pivot according to your production targets throughout your shift. The fact that we use an incorporation of various data sets that combine into a system enables us to dynamically adjust the zone sizes according to the situation that the equipment is operating in, as well as the personnel. Through the interface that we have between pedestrian and operator, it's enabled the operator to have a 360 view around his equipment, which has prevented lost time injuries and subsequent fatalities. The system ensures that a vehicle is stopped before it comes into contact with the personnel, but also prevents vehicle-to-vehicle interaction in close proximity. The value add is peace of mind. We have a world-class safety system that's been designed against the best industry standards globally. We designed the NewTrack's collision avoidance system to ensure that we return safely home to our families.